One thing I've learned in life is that resentment and anger for somebody else is poison. It definitely eats at you every single day of your life, deteriorates your happiness, your joy, and it blurs your perspective on how to look at things. Honestly, I've learned this firsthand myself throughout my life. I always wanted forgiveness for the things I did, whether it be in my marriage, friendships, things like that. If I made a mistake, I felt obligated to have that without giving it back to who I needed to forgive, such as my mom and my dad. When you're young growing up, you don't think about what your parents are going through or what they've been through in their childhoods and their lives. You get pretty selfish in a way without being selfish, if that makes sense, as a child. And when they're making mistakes and they're trying to figure it out at the same time, we kind of expect them to just be this super parent, super dad, super mom. We look at other people's families, make comparisons, wanting our family to be like that, wanting our mom and dad to be like somebody else's parents. That's not a realistic way of thinking. And as a child, I can see, there's some, there's room for that, if that makes sense. But as an adult, carry that into adulthood and you still have that resentment, that anger, that hatred, or that bitterness. Then it becomes about you making the mistake. It's no longer about them. Because by that time, I'm sure most people have felt bad for what they've done to their kids. I'm sure a lot of people have said sorry to their children, and their children have pushed them away because they're resentful and still pissed off about whatever may have put them in that mindset. But me personally, I never treated my parents like shit or anything like that, but deep down inside I was resentful for different things that they did or they didn't do. And I actually used that to fuel my anger, my rebelliousness out in the world. I became this person that I really wasn't. I totally went against my character. Even though I was young, I knew right from wrong. I'm not making excuses, but I chose to do those things to feel better, to feel powerful, to feel like I was in control when really I wasn't. So I encourage people that if you have issues with your parents or with other people in your life that have wronged you, it could be something that seems unforgivable, but honestly, you have to do that for yourself in order to move forward. And I unfortunately waited too long to do that with my father. Like I said, I never disrespected him. I always showed him love. But I always wanted him to be this person in my life that he wasn't. It wasn't him. He was who he was, He made mistakes, bad decisions. And now that I'm older and I have my own family and I've made plenty of my own mistakes and my wrongdoings on other people, my wife, my children, I can understand and put myself in his shoes and see why things were the way they were. The moment I was sitting at his funeral, we're at Fort Logan Cemetery. It's a military cemetery. He's a veteran from Vietnam. And I'm sitting there with my family and my sister and my stepmom. And it just starts to sink in once I see him pull out the American flag. And I start to realize who he truly was. And he was an honorable man. And in my mind, I had a picture of something different of who he should have been. You know, I had no clue who he truly was. And then once the guns went off, the salute for him, that's what really hit me. And I just, you know, even though he was gone, I basically spoke to him. And I just told him, I forgive you. And that was a very strong moment for me. Powerful. Changed my whole way of thinking about things. It even took me back to my mom's death, which happened years before he passed. And just all that resentment I had for nothing. You know, I don't like to live with guilt, but I think if I wouldn't have held on to all that as deep as I did, I would have been able to be something different myself for the people that relied on me and for my parents. And I mean, what's done is done. You know, we all move forward. And fortunately, you know, my parents raised me with some good morals and values, principles, for me to be able to see clearly. And I could see it clear now. And it's a beautiful thing to experience that, although it was painful. You know, there was a lot of emotion, which I'm not very good with dealing with, but it helped me move forward in my life and help me enjoy my days more. So now when I think of them, I'll hear a certain song, I'll see a picture, a video, it's in my phone. And it's not so much a sadness, it's more of a proud moment for me because, you know, they were great people. They had beautiful hearts. They did everything they could for me, for what they had and who they were at that time. Nobody's perfect. So us passing judgment, it's so easy to do. When in reality, we should be looking in the mirror and seeing what we're doing and how we can be better. And it's just, like I said, I encourage people to let that bitterness go. And it's a hard thing to do, but you have to really deeply forgive somebody. And realize that they're only human. And we don't know what's inside their mind, their heart, what's making them feel down about themselves or making them make these decisions that may hurt you. I'm not making excuses for people because there's some people that just don't care, but you can tell by somebody's character and who they are that they do care. And when they do, even though they might not express that they're sorry or, you know, but at least they're still trying to be a part of you, part of your life. That shows enough to where you can take that wall, break that wall down and forgive them. Even if you don't want to talk to them anymore, so be it. But don't wait till they pass away, because that is a very difficult thing to deal with. Do it when they're alive. You know how they say, give them their flowers while they're still here. That is so true. And that experience, you know, with my dad really woke me up, and it made me a better man. And even sitting on the side of my mom when she was passing away, you know, to lose somebody like that, and there's so many people that could relate to that. You know, it changes you. And you have two choices. You can either let it break you down and destroy you, or you can let it make you stronger and become a better person yourself and move forward from it.